program is Viewpoint. We have a couple of great guests this morning, Dr. Todd Mourning and Dr. Amy Knox. We were talking about this matter of exercise. I want to get to another matter here very quickly. I'm going to let Judith Kay do that. But not everybody can go to a gym and work out. Although, Lord knows it's sure cheap enough out here at the rec. My goodness, that's the best bargain for exercise and for good health. It really is. But what about those who can't avail themselves of an opportunity? Are there some basic exercises, folks can do at home with on a daily basis, or at least maybe 3 times a week?
YouTube is a great invention.
Really?
You could find all kinds of stuff on YouTube on people who have put together exercise programs that you could follow along with. Mm-hmm. Or what I do is I just go and learn from their techniques and then make up my own. So,
okay.
But and there's commercially available programs. 10-minute trainer, P90X. Those are pretty high intensity stuff. Mm-hmm. But there's some lower intensity stuff. You just sit around on a Sunday afternoon watching TV, and you'll find all kinds of different programming out there to help you. Mm-hmm. But you really do not need to go to a gym. If you've got a space in your living room where you can do some stuff, and you've got a computer, you can Google it. You can find all kinds of stuff to do. So there is no excuse to not being able to exercise in terms of space and time. If you've got a computer and you've got a living room, you've got the tools you need.
Well, you're going to do 2 things. If you do, you're going to enhance your life. You're going to enhance the quality of your life.
Right.
So it'd be a good thing if folks would start thinking about that.
Right. Now what people run into is they lack motivation if they're not exercising with somebody. So it's always a great idea. If you can find a partner to exercise with, really helps to increase your motivation, and the results will be so much better.
How many inside bikes are sitting around gathering dust that people bought with good intentions, or rowing machines or something, anything like that?
Yep.
And did you see on the TV this boss say, "Oh, that's a good idea, we get that," and the next thing you know, I got about 6 inches of dust on it.
Yeah. Funny thing is, those machines, and I tell my mom and dad this all the time, you actually have to get on them and use them for them to make any difference for you. The way the TV commercials put them out there, you just put it in the living room,
and it'll
do the work for you.
Yeah, right.
They forget to tell you that it is hard work to get it done.
Welcome to this generation.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
That kind of segues nicely into the fact that in our neighborhood there are a lot of people, 2 of whom I'm looking right in the eye, who love to walk. Mm-hmm. Now, that's summer, fall, winter, spring, like the mailman, And how about winter walking? Even if you don't fall, I think it's almost worse if you slip and try to catch yourself and wrench everything. Mm-hmm. You don't break anything, but you move it around in the wrong way. Now, how about keeping yourself from being on your back on the ice?
The best thing to do is prevention, to try to prevent those slips and falls. So you want to try to wear good insulated boots with a good tread on the bottom. That's the most important thing. Mm-hmm. If you want to take a walking stick or a cane out with you, you can even buy ice picks to put on the ends of your cane if you have one. Also, you want to make sure you go slowly. You might have to go a little bit more slowly than you do in the summertime, especially if it's icy or snowy. Take short steps, just so that if you do have a change in traction because you hit some ice, you're able to respond to that quickly. You want to make sure you don't have your hands in your pockets. If you have your hands out to your side, that helps you with your balance. Another thing is...
Simple thing.
Yeah, or carrying in heavy bags from the grocery store. If your arms are full and you slip, then you can throw you off balance,
Then you got oranges everywhere.
Right. Then you have even more work. And also, if you're walking for exercise in the winter, it's great to grab a partner and just head out to Walmart.
Pay attention, Jim.
And go walk out there.
Lots of people do that too, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kid Dr. David Coogan, retired doctor, about being the floor walker out there. He goes out there religiously and does enough turns that I think he walks 4 miles. I forgot the exact. I think it is. And he just walks very quickly around the perimeter. Mm-hmm. And every once in a while I see him waving in and out. And I say, floor walker, would you help me here, please?
But it's smart to wear the kind of shoes that are going to be of help to you. And they even sell those things that have elastic, I think it is, the straps.
The big one that I've seen, I was doing a little research on this, is one called Yak Trax. YAKTRAX.
Okay.
And it's I think it's a spring-loaded device that you slip over your shoes, and it's got metal traction on the bottom of it. Probably don't want to walk across the wood floor with it on.
Probably not.
It kind of tend to make some sense.
But walking outdoors definitely can. And if you have a choice of walking on an icy sidewalk or on a snowy, grassy area,
take the snow.
Take the snow.
Yeah.
Because
really?
Absolutely. You will be much less likely to fall if you are on the snow.
Mm-hmm.
The snow actually gives you some traction. Ice, the friction is so much less on ice. Snow, you're actually going to sink down. It'll give you some traction. It'll compact under your feet. So you want to stay off the icy sidewalk and walk in the snow.
One of the worst places, I think, in winter, whether it's frost or snow, is a deck.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a deck anymore. And you've got the cold coming not just from the top, but from underneath, too. And they get slicker than spit.
Yep.
You really have to watch your P's and Q's when you go.
Right, and one reason they get slick, a lot of times decks do not dry out completely, so they get that thin layer of
glaze,
moss, and then you put a little bit of moisture on top of that, and it will make you go. And if you are walking a normal pace, either on that or on any ice surface, you walk and you put your heel down first.
Yeah, it don't.
That heel goes right out from under you, so that's why you have to, like Amy said, slow down, short steps. Another tip on there was to wear sunglasses. For a couple of reasons. Sunglasses, number one, will help prevent the glare of the snow, and it gets really bright when it's snowing.
You bet.
But it also helps you to see textures and surface changes better in the snow. So you can tell where there may be icy or where it may be snowy. It just helps you differentiate what you're walking on.
If you're fortunate enough to get a gathering of snow, you have no idea what's under it either.
Right.
And it pays to pay attention and, like you said, to go more slowly, because you could step on, goodness knows, a tricycle,
Yeah. I always tell my kids, before you jump, make sure you know what you're jumping onto.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Can we just take one little second to talk about a program that you're organizing? Now that we've talked about all the exercise, let's talk a little bit about weight loss. Go for it.
We ran a pilot program this past summer for weight loss, and what we want to do is we want to start more of a medically structured and supervised weight loss program. So this is designed for people with comorbidities such as hypertension, type 2 diabetes, arthritis, people who need a little bit more intensive education and follow through. We allow them time to come into our gym to exercise. They get a weekly visit with a dietitian. They get a monthly visit with a behavior modification therapist, all in hopes to promote a healthier lifestyle, which in turn will hopefully lead to weight loss.
Things in our lives have to become a lifestyle. We're such creatures of habit. That's what you have to do, is train yourself to do things this way. You might mention, to spur people on, a study of a couple years ago where Logan County won.
We won, yes.
Yes.
We a couple years ago, the CDC, I believe, was who was involved in this study. We were the most obese county in Illinois.
Isn't that special?
Yeah, it's
102
fantastic,
counties,
yeah.
and we won.
Yeah, we won, yes.
It wasn't Jim Ash and his wife, I can tell you that. The way they walk and exercise, I'll promise you, they'll never be in that category. With reference to the rehabbing department out there, with medicine the way it is and science is advanced and so forth, are we seeing a lot more patients who have had hip or knee replacements? Is there an impact?
We are,
on that?
and Dr. Olsav is in town full-time now, and he is scheduling right and left, no pun intended, hip and knee replacements
accept that.
through the beginning of the year. So you're definitely seeing more and more. And as we wear and tear our bodies, plus the baby boomers are getting of that age, I think we're going to see that more and more.
Uh-huh. And what about back surgeries? Do you see many patients who have had back surgeries?
Not as much as we used to. There are surgeons that are still doing it, but they really try and be conservative as much as possible.
Yeah.
Fix it
I
with
would
other
think.
methods. Surgery is the last resort. So.
I would think, absolutely.
But it seems to me that medicine as a whole is deferring to rehab
Right.
before they start any surgery, which is smart.
Yes.
Because there's no such thing, you know, we used to talk about if somebody had a tonsillectomy, it was routine surgery. Well, that's...
Nothing
there
is
nothing
routine.
like
They do
that.
it a lot, but there still are risks involved with any procedure.
You bet. And
Now-
that's why you're doing a land office business out there, isn't it?
Does your department have anything to do with rehabbing, what I'll call, for one of a better word, open wounds out there in your department?
We do. We have a wound care therapist.
Uh-huh.
Kristen Fulton is there 3 days a week, and her main job is to take care of people who have open wounds.
Somewhere back in the middle, what little gray matter is back here, not much, but I read some hyperbaric chambers.
We do
they-
not have hyperbaric
No, but
oxygen.
do they
no.
use that for?
They do,
for
and I think they
wounds?
have that in Springfield. Yes.
Oh, they do. Uh-huh.
We use a machine called the mist therapy. It uses ultrasound delivered through a mist to help debride and increase circulation in the wound.
Is that right?
And it's been a very effective treatment for us.
People who suffer from diabetes are prone to terrible wounds, aren't they?
Right.
Is that a lot of the clientele?
Most
in
of
that
her
area?
business, yes, are people who have are suffering the effects of diabetes. Yes.
It's
Now,
nasty business.
Yeah, I've been told that there's most of my cartilage in the lower back is not existent anymore, and there's certainly no therapy that's going to help that. I'm making a statement, or maybe perhaps I should make it a question.
Eventually, you do exhaust your options, and we do the best we can to within the limits of what we can. But at some point, it may be too far gone to really do anything about it, and then
Yeah.
you just have to manage it the best you can with appropriate exercise. Some people wear braces around their waist to support their back, but at some point, it does get too far gone.
The problem with that, Jim, I can't put a brace right there because my pants won't fit. I'm too cheap to buy new pants.
Before it gets to that point, other than the obvious answer of exercise, what can a person do?
Well, you have to prevent. You have to work when you're young to prevent injuries. There's no age limit that you can't start working to prevent injuries. But if you worked in a factory all these years and you spent many years bent over a machine, the damage is already done. You can still do things to help get out of that, but the damage is done. So it's prevention early on. That's why a lot of these companies are going with ergonomic solutions now. So prevention, and then doing the appropriate exercises once you do have problems. So, and we can help you with that.
What about the kids of today that don't go outside and play the way you did when you were kids? You'd spend the whole day outdoors.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's not the case any longer.
No, it's a video gaming society. We've had people who have had thumb problems
Big
because of
surprise.
texting.
What a shock.
Yeah. And posture. I mean, my posture is no good, but we get kids in here like this, and they're like this, and they can't straighten up, and they wonder why they have a lot of pain. And we see it more and more and more. And we've tried to get into the schools to teach some of these things, and some schools have let us in, but the kids just don't seem to be too interested in. It's not hurting them at this point, even the younger kids. And
Yeah, it's not the severity,
but when they get
it's the
to teenagers,
proximity.
especially in athletes too, that bad posture causes a lot of shoulder problems.
And you
So-
see that if a girl is not like Amy, who's just a sweet little tiny thing, but a girl who's tall sometimes, and the boys don't grow till they're about 18 or so.
Some of us never did.
And so the girls will go around stoop-shouldered and bent over so that they aren't taller than all the boys in the class. They got to be doing themselves a terrible injustice.
Yep.
Honestly, they should have had my father. He'd poke you in the back if he saw you slouching.
Yeah, your mother always said sit up straight, and that holds true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And eat your peas. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We've appreciated very much the time of Dr. Amy Knox and our good friend Dr. Todd Mourning. It's a joy to have such professionalism here, right here in our own local hospital. We're lucky. We are very, very
Yes,
lucky
we are.
indeed
Oh,
in this
my,
community
yes.
to have that kind of talent. We appreciate your time this morning, folks. I always try to end up with a little quote or something apropos of the day, whatever it might be. And I found one that says, youth thinks nothing of age. Old age thinking enough but age. Thank you very much for Viewpoint.
Thank you, guys.
It's not hard to find ways to invest toward financial goals. The hard part is